Welcome back to our 2024 Recruitment Takeover series on the Your Sorority Journey podcast. Whether you've recruited 1 year before or 2 years before, we need you to show up for your chapter this year because it takes a village. We are talking to returning recruiters on this podcast episode, and we're going to make it quick because I know your time is valuable. But I want you to think of this as your mini pep talk to get your head in the game. Yes, just like Troy Bolton said in High School Musical, to get your head into recruitment and get ready to support your leaders and your first year recruiters because you matter. Yes, you still matter. While you may be looking around and noticing that some of your best friends have graduated, maybe some of your close friends that you recruited with a year ago are gone. They are either studying abroad or are no longer in the chapter. Maybe some of them are on the panel and excited recruitment this year. Maybe some of your best friends are actually leaders in your chapter, like paving the way, like setting the vision for recruitment. You might be looking around like, what is my role this year? There are all these enthusiastic new recruiters ready to show up. I've done my time. I can take a back seat. I would disagree. I would actually argue that you are needed even more this year than you were last year. I want you to think about your first year recruiting. Who was the girl that you asked questions to? Who did you look up to? Who was revered as the best girl to preference a potential new member? You get to be that girl this year. You get to be the one who first year recruiters look up to, who your leaders rely on to model the way, to demonstrate examples of how things should be done, and to bring the positive energy. We all know, and we can all think of older members who have come before us in the chapter whose mentality and energy set the tone for our experience. Maybe not just in recruitment, maybe for a philanthropy event, maybe for a chapter meeting. Maybe you got to know them just a week after bid day and you heard the way they talked about living in the house that made you feel a certain way about potentially living in the house. Our energy is contagious. So it's our responsibility as older members in the chapter to rise to the occasion and to set the tone of recruitment. Because, sister, with or without a leadership position, whether you've had one in the past or you will have one in the future, you have influence in your chapter. If you have been there long enough to recruit for a year and still be there in the chapter, you matter. You are bringing energy and perspective that younger members need to learn from. And officers and leaders are banking on having to carry them through because they cannot do it alone. Your advisors and your leaders cannot train a whole new member class how to recruit on their own. While they will set the tone and lead the way, it is your responsibility to kind of shepherd them, help them practice, answer little questions here and there, and really be the people that your officers look to when things might be going awry. I want you to think about as you go into recruitment this year just how much you matter. If you have been told that you don't, if you have the feeling or like the gut instinct that you aren't respected or aren't cherished, I think it's really important that you have some conversations before recruitment with sisters that you are close to, with leaders that are paving the way to reinstill that confidence that your sorority needs you and trusts you, that you are an entrusted member of your organization, and recruitment will not be the same without you this year. If you are a recruitment officer listening for a chapter, I want you to really pour into your second year recruiters, your upperclassmen recruiters this year. I want you to find opportunities to thank them, to celebrate them throughout Spirit, Polish, pre recruitment week, whatever that might look like to you, and really elevate them as leaders in the chapter. Yes, you as the officer, as the vice president, whatever, will be setting the tone for the way recruitment looks and feels this year, but empower them and elevate them in their Titleist leadership to help you carry the chapter through recruitment with positivity, with enthusiasm, and deep connectedness with one another. Sister, there is not one of you that can dictate the future of your chapter alone. It needs all of you. It takes a village to have a successful recruitment. And more importantly, it takes a village to cultivate a culture of a chapter that you are proud to grow, to welcome potential new members into. so that when they accept their bid and they run home to you on bid day, you can be confident of the sisterhood that you have to offer them. So start investing in it now by choosing positivity, by choosing to take care of yourself so you have positivity to give your fellow sisters and future sisters, and by really cherishing the experiences that you have, recognizing that they are very fleeting. You might have one more recruitment, or this might be your last recruitment in your chapter. While you would have the opportunity to advise or support recruitment in other capacities in the future, you will never be on the floor again. Getting to meet potential new members and help them navigate their sorority journey just as they embark ever again. So take this experience seriously and recognize that you, my friend, are part of the village.